What's up, everyone? Welcome back to After the Storm. Welcome back to the NHL 2005 Dynasty Mode Series. Guys, we did it. Game 82. A whole season played. Well, I shouldn't say played, but we watched the first, good portion of the season. Oh, man. This is a lot of work. People who do this regularly, I think there are people who play like 82 games, like they will play a full season. I cannot imagine this. This was, 2004, by the end of it, I was just friggin' burnt from it. 2003, I had the corruption stuff as I switched some stuff over my computer, so I lost it, which sucked, because NHL 2003 is just really fun. Like, it's so much fun. But, honestly, this is something else. It's been a long road here. It's been a year and a half. At the point you guys are even seeing this, it's just been over a year and a month since I started this series. You guys will see it obviously way later than when I'm recording it, because obviously we're doing batch recording stuff. But it's just been a really long process, and it's been a lot of fun. This is not one of the better games in the series. We're about to get into really what is the golden age of the games. NHL 06 was fantastic. NHL 07 is probably the best of the Xbox, GameCube, PS2 generation of the games. And then we head into the 360 versions with NHL 08 and all that kind of stuff as we move a little bit forward here. But it's just, you know what? It's been so much fun. It's been a labor of love. It's definitely not been something that I've at any point felt like was a bad thing or anything like that. But it's so rewarding to be here at Game 82, about to start the playoffs. There's so much more of the series to go, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like we are finishing it up here. But we're not. We're going on to the playoffs. We have a matchup here in this episode number 82 of the series, our final game of the regular season against the San Jose Sharks. Now, of course, our most recent episode, we played all of these, nonsense players, like guys that have not touched the lineup at any point this season, played against Anaheim, a 2-2 tie, and obviously went pretty well considering everything there. But you know what? In this game, San Jose does have the advantage. They should win. They're trying to get themselves into a playoff spot. This is a potential first-round matchup now for our squad. There's a 5-team battle that we'll take a look at before we get into the game. But basically, all you need to know is Cujo's in the net against Toskala. San Jose should definitely win this game. As we take a look at the Western Conference here, Anaheim, after our last game, they got that tie. They got third place secured in the Western Conference due to their really weak division. San Jose's here, 7th. They are, again, 2 spots up for grabs. Still on the final day of the season, 2 spots up for grabs in the Western Conference, and 5 teams are battling. Chicago's in here, Vancouver's in here, LA, Phoenix, and San Jose. So San Jose obviously has a 1-point advantage. Chicago really coming up from the rear here. I don't think they were a very good team for most of the season, but they have, kind of turned it on late, got something going here. They might get themselves into the playoffs at a time when the Chicago Blackhawks in real life were friggin' terrible. They're about to draft Taves and Kane. That should tell you how bad they are. But these teams, I'm not sure. I wish I could see who they were playing. I'm assuming maybe some of them are playing each other. But yeah, this is an exciting thing to come out of this game that we were about to play, and be able to see, who our playoff matchup is, take a look at the playoff tree, see who made it into these final spots. There's only one up for grabs in the Eastern Conference, Philadelphia and Atlanta fighting for 8th. Anyways, guys, let's not wait around any longer. Let's go ahead and get into this game against the San Jose Sharks, the season finale. We're here live, Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. It is the season finale. Game 82, the Sharks fighting for the final 2 spots in the Western Conference. The Avalanche playing a squad of minor leaguers mostly. Puck drop is next after the anthem here in Colorado. Final game of the regular season is upon us. The Avalanche have already clinched President's Trophy playoff home ice advantage throughout them. The postseason right around the corner, gonna get started here soon, but we have one more piece of business to take care of, and that's here, and that's Sharks and Avs. Here's Bugner. Hall's gonna bring it up. 2-2 tie in the last game for the Avalanche. Back in front, here's Hall, a chance. Chichu there, grabbing the puck. Stewart, Marlowe. Cujo back in the net for his third consecutive start, giving Theodore lots and lots of rest. Hall. Bonvie there. Throwing a hit, missed his man. Sturm back the other way, poked away by Hall. He throws a big hit on Sturm. A potential first-round matchup between these two squads, depending on how this final day shapes up. Hall takes a big hit there. Martinek gonna find Bonvie across the ice. Here's Bonvie. Bonvie shot on. Good save by Toskala. Dimitrakos finds Ekman, but he's over the line and offside. 2-2 tie in the last matchup. That secured Anaheim, a rival of this Sharks squad, the Pacific Division title for this season, a very weak division. At this point, the Ducks are going to have home ice advantage against a team that has more wins and more points than them in the standings in the St. Louis Blues. Here's Hall, ripping a shot. That's Jeff Hamilton, my bad. Ripped a shot, but it was stopped. Gotch. Hamilton back the other way. Finds Vonanen, scores. Masi Vonanen, I believe that's Nabokov actually in the net as the Sharks made a switch in goaltending. But Vonanen on the backhand roofed that one, and the Avalanche lead early. It was a tough goal for Nabokov to give up. Midway through the first, Avalanche have struck first. McCormick on the draw. And this squad that is on the ice for the Avalanche is not obviously one that we've seen a few of these players throughout the season. McCormick's made his way into the lineup, Wrigley at times due to the injury situation. These are not players that are typically playing. And they have held their own against a couple teams from the Pacific Division that are maybe playing some nervous hockey at this point. Rathje's there. Turned over to Butlin. Butlin shoots right from the point. It actually goes off the side of the net. Bala with a big hit there. Foot bringing it up. Here's Miller. Miller shot on. Kevin Miller. Got that one away, but Nabokov gloves it and will take a hold. Denny Nabokov played a lot this season. 71st appearance of the year for the San Jose Sharks. A lot of workload for him, and his numbers just not quite where they'd like to be. As that one's brought in offside by the Sharks. Stevens on the draw. Gotch is going to win that one. Samalayan. Vonanen, who's got the goal, bringing that one up. Wrigley, passed across, Cummins, shot on. Retrieves the puck there, still working on it. Finds Wrigley in front. Oh, and a nice glove save by Nabokov. As this Avalanche team, even with these players playing this system within Joel Quenneville's coaching realm, are still managing to generate lots and lots of opportunities. Which is a surprise for any team. I think they're kind of coming in, looking at the lineup, looking at that sheet that's on the posted up in the room and thinking, maybe, oh, geez, here's an easy 2 points, and it's throwing off a couple teams now. Here's Miller, Kuleshov. A lot of maybe potential future Hall of Famer names on this roster right now. Solani, Sakic, Forsberg, potentially Milan Hajduk, Jose Theodore even. Lots of, as Kuleshov gets a chance and Nabokov has to stand tall again. And these players that are in this lineup tonight who have not played much at all this season. I've been around these guys all season. Cody McCormick's been around the team as a youngster. And I think that's definitely important. It's certainly showing. Lyle steps up and nails Niels Ekman. Back in front of McCauley, his chance. A couple former Toronto Maple Leafs coming together there as the end of the first is upon us. 1-0 the score. Vonanen getting the goal. 1-0 into the first intermission for the Avalanche.
With all proceeds going to local charities.
A dominating first period from the Avalanche. Stevens on the draw to open up the second. Gotch is going to win that one. Gotch shot blocked by Steve Stais. Cummins dumping it back around. Brigley there. Another player who's had the opportunity to be in and out of the lineup for the Avs this season. Vonanen with the puck. Dumped back in. The Avalanche already going to their dump and chase system here in the second. It did backfire a little bit against the Ducks, but it has worked very well against certain teams this season. There's Brigley shooting from a sharp angle, and Nabokov, if he wasn't pressed right up against that post, might have seen that puck find some daylight and go through. There's Brigley with a nice hit as we take a look. Salmelainen not liking that one too much through the first few minutes here of this second period. Here's Miller. Tripped up a little bit by Chichu, no call. Sturm. Hamilton. Miller over to Kuleshov. Kuleshov shot on. Good save by Nabokov, and he's going to play it out to Sturm. Lyles bumping Marco Sturm off the puck. Miller over to Hamilton. Hamilton rips a shot. Not the most dangerous chances, but they're going to keep coming with Sturm again. Losing the puck into the corner. Kuleshov there trying to get the puck. Gets it around. Hamilton dumping it in as the Avalanche peel off for a change. Stewart back in his own zone, bringing it in. McCauley takes a big hit from Steve Stais, turns the puck over. Vonanen, who's got the go-ahead goal. Here's Brigley. Back, rips a wrist shot. Nabokov save. Hannon steps up into Brigley. Sharks team looking to get themselves back into this game. Gotch on the draw, wins it against Riku Hall. Salmelainen turned over at the line. Ehrhoff dropped by Riku Hall. Barnes dumps it back in. Nabokov more playing the puck from behind his own net than saves so far in this one. Bonvie back though. Make sure that play doesn't get much of anywhere. Brown takes that big hit. Bugner dumping that one out of the zone. Ehrhoff there. Pricing takes a hit. Turned over and Martinek's got the puck. Martinek around the boards. Brown there. Came back. Bonvie pressed him up against the glass. Gotch nearly turned it over in the neutral zone, and now Salmelainen does. And Hall gets it back in. Full on defense at this point for the Avalanche. Big hit by Riku Hall. Foot takes one. Bala, who had a goal in the Anaheim game the other night. Dumped that one back around. Foot dumping that one back in. Turning it over in the neutral zone. McCormick's there. Bala flips it in. The Avalanche really just clogging up the neutral zone. The Sharks rather just can't get anything going. Now having to dump the puck in themselves. Try to get it in and get a change. Maybe generate something. Here's McCormick carrying it through the neutral zone. Ekman turned over to Foot. Bala there. Just going to dump it around. And that will do it for the second period. The first period marker from Ossi Vonanen still the difference maker so far. As we head to the second period, Avalanche continue to lead 1-0.
From the world's top automobile manufacturers.
No shots on goal for the Sharks in that second period. 12-2 overall in the game. The Avalanche suffocating that neutral zone, turning the puck over at will. Stepped up, and there's a hit from Bugner. That separated Patrick Marleau from the puck. Hamilton just going to dump it back. Marleau back to retrieve. Stewart, here comes Sturm and Chichu. Chichu takes a big hit from Bugner. Miller dumping it in. Hamilton on the pursuit. Stewart around his net, finds Chichu. Turned over. Hamilton there, turns. Gonna try another shot. That one blocked again. Hamilton turns and fires. 3 shots on this shift alone blocked, and Kuleshov just dumps it in. Back up ice. There's Marleau. Marleau takes a hit from Bugner. Martinek dumping it in. Hamilton there on the other side. Over to Miller. Miller right there with a chance. In front again, another chance, and Nabokov having to stand tall, keeping his team in it. Playoff implications on the line. If the matchups around the league go the way of the other teams, this Sharks squad could miss the playoffs on this game. Here's McCauley turning it over to Lyles. Time is dwindling on the Sharks. Bootland dumping it in, 1-0 score. Voninen with the goal in the first period, the difference maker. Ever since then, the Avalanche have gone into full defense mode. That play out from Nabokov nearly turned sour. Bootland back into the zone. Pricing. Tom Pricing carrying it through. Lyles turns it over at the blue line. A great stick from him. He's been doing it all season. Cummins takes a big hit there in the neutral zone. Ehrhoff there. Cummins returns to the favor. Stevens there. Stevens try to get the slap shot off. Stevens still with it. Back out. 7 minutes to go here in the third. Voninen dumping it in. Nabokov there. Finds Ehrhoff. Big hit by Voninen. He's got the go-ahead goal. Brown takes a huge hit there. 6 minutes to go as the Avalanche continue to whittle this game down. Back there, Brigley finally. They've just been waiting on Nabokov to play those pucks out. Got one there, but it was blocked. There's the third shot of the game for the Sharks. Got to be one of the most frustrating games of the season for any team. 4 minutes to go here. The Avalanche just shutting this one down on the Sharks. Bugner there, Chichu with a chance. Couldn't get it away before he was hit. 3 to go in the third. Barnes dumping it in. McLaren bringing it back. McLaren turned over to Bala. Gets it back though. Turned over again to Martinek. Chichu there all over the puck trying to get this one from Martinek. It does. It stays in at the line. Stewart. McLaren shot on. Big save by Cujo. Nabokov's to the bench. An extra attacker out. Clutch time here for the Avalanche as they're moving the puck around the ice. That one won't go for icing. 37 to go. Chichu there, broken up by Lyles. And Barnes there, rips a shot off the side of the net. He had an open net there. Misses it. And back come the Sharks again. Lyles still on the ice, foot there. Lyles plays it down, that'll be icing. 18 seconds to go, the Avalanche hanging on, trying to steal 2 points with their stars in the press box. Hamilton on the draw. McCauley wins it, one of the better face-off men around the league. Here's Hannon. Voninen back down. Hamilton's there first. Scores. Jeff Hamilton putting the game away. And the Avalanche resting 11 of their 12 regular forwards are going to steal 2 points from a Sharks team that desperately needs confirmation they're going to be in the playoffs. Potential first-round matchup here depending on how the day goes. But with 5 seconds to go, a defensive showcase from the Avalanche to end the regular season. Game 82 is in the book. The playoffs the corner. And the Avalanche are ready, and they're coming for Lord Stanley. As always, we leave you with the 3 stars of the matchup tonight.
Colorado number 37.
And we'll see you for our first playoff broadcast.
Tonight's second star for Colorado number 22, Jeff Hamilton. And tonight's first star, Colorado number 27, Ossi Mananen.
The regular season finale, we steal 2 points from the Sharks. Boy, oh boy. It's just big. We're obviously going to, switch our lines up. Everybody's coming back. Boy, oh boy, let's get ready to go. Playoffs are upon us starting in the next episode, guys. Regular season success, the Colorado Avalanche make the playoffs. And guess who we've got first round? The San Jose Sharks. So here we go. Let's take a look at some point of how this draft order. That's a good question. Call your attention to the order's upcoming rookie draft. So Caps, Penguins. So this would be the Sidney Crosby draft, by the way. If you're wondering which draft this is, what players would be coming in. So in this one, technically Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin would be going to the same exact team. Pittsburgh, Edmonton. We should be dead last. I didn't know they used to actually do... Oh, yeah, actually, our first round pick is with the Rangers. I forgot about that. I didn't realize that this stuff was set. Usually it's set by the playoffs now, but this might just be the way. Forsberg, need to improve. Shut up, we're not improving the gym. Success. I've been watching the team flourish under your watch. The ability to finish first in your conference by the end of the season is a big step for this hockey club. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Might want to consider calling up Peter Forsberg. Yeah, maybe. Anyways, let's go edit our lines. We'll go best lines. Sakic, Forsberg, Hayduk is exactly what I wanted. Medano, Guerin, Solani. I want to do... Actually, you know what? Let's check Yager on this line. See how that looks. Is it still +4? Still +4. And if I put Solani here, does it stay at +4 as well? Yeah, okay. That's what we're doing. Nikolitin, Hamilton, Cherkasky. Yeah, I mean, unless, can I drop? Does Hall make this better? Hall makes it better. So Hamilton out, and we're gonna reward Riku Hall with that final spot on that 4th line because he was excellent all year. He's been pretty much one of my favorite, probably scratch players that came into the lineup this season. But take an absolute look at this team heading into the playoffs. Look at these top 3 lines. Man, this is going to be something else. Foote and Blake not going to play together. We're obviously going to do Surrey and Blake. We're going to do Foote and Lyles. Just as we've had it all season, that's been working really well for us. And then we will do Vonanen and Steos as our as our 3rd pairing. And of course, Theodore Joseph. Theodore now back in, of course. But yeah, we've got boy oh boy. We've got 3 all-star lines heading into this playoffs. Our defense is unreal. We are healthy. Milan Hayduk back into. We are healthy heading into the playoffs. So let's take a look. Coming out of that, let's take a look at, how we got here. So actually, let's take a look at the playoff tree. That's always the better option here. So the final 2 spots went to San Jose and Vancouver. We obviously haven't taken a look yet at how how all that shaped up, of course. Did Vancouver and San Jose lost, so that's a good thing here. So San Jose, I'm assuming Vancouver won a game. They jumped above San Jose to get to that 7th seed to face off against Detroit in the first round. In San Jose, of course, losing to us with basically nobody in our lineup was a difference maker. But taking a look at all of our playoff series here, this is huge. Colorado, San Jose, so obviously we've played them 4 times this season. We just stole that game in the last one against them as well. Detroit and Vancouver, I think that's a matchup from 2002. That was a very good series. Anaheim, St. Louis is one of probably the most backward series of them all here in the Western Conference. Anaheim had less points than St. Louis. In Minnesota, Calgary, I'm so excited. The fact that, in the best terms, I have to play Minnesota second round. That's fine, or Calgary second round. I'm hoping for an upset somewhere else so we can get the matchup a little bit better. Probably St. Louis is the one. I feel like St. Louis beats out Anaheim, and I think we get St. Louis second round. And I think you probably see Detroit and Minnesota in the second round, or Detroit and Calgary. Either way, I want to avoid those teams, Minnesota or Calgary, for as long as I possibly can. I'll be completely honest. Minnesota is unreal. Calgary also very, very good. In the Eastern Conference, Montreal, Toronto, doesn't get any better than that. Toronto sliding to 8th. Philadelphia, I think, obviously winning a final game or two down the stretch when they were fighting Atlanta for that final playoff spot. Atlanta was a very good team, if you recall, from the earlier episodes of the series. I think Atlanta was like the top team in the league for a good probably 10 or 15 game stretch, and now they missed playoffs. And they probably had one. I think they had Kovalchuk, who was the best or the highest scoring player. That's another thing we'll take a look at here before we finish today's episode. Is I think Kovalchuk probably won the Art Ross this season, and it's kind of crazy that they would miss playoffs. New Jersey, Philly, at this time an Atlantic Division, which is now a Metro Division rivalry. New Jersey again, Brodeur, Stevens, everybody. Honestly, that's probably going to be a really good series, low key. Tampa in the Islanders. Tampa, of course, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, trying to repeat. The Islanders, I don't think are a very good team. I think that one goes to Tampa. Montreal somehow obviously very good. We have a potential clash of, Theodore Abichet in the finals. And then 4 and 5, the biggest series, I would say, the most exciting series in both conferences. Buffalo, Ottawa, very close in the standings. That's going to be a really good series. So we finished with 120 points on the season, 56, 18, 5, and 3. Obviously, we struggled a good portion of the season, and then we really turned it on down the stretch. Minnesota, which was the team that we had to catch up to, that we competed with all season long, really. They were excellent. I hope they don't drop out in the first round. I really hope. I hope I see them down the line. I hope they go far, is what I'm trying to say here. Roll us in. They're not like a great offensive team. They're just somehow they were winning games. Montreal, probably a bit of a shock at this time, but they are a decent team. We made the trade for Theodore. I thought that would probably weaken them quite a bit, but Abisher probably was pretty good for them down the stretch. But here, let's take a look. So San Jose dropped to 8th because they lost to us. I think Vancouver won their game. Phoenix, let's see what Phoenix did. Phoenix played St. Louis and they lost. Who did Vancouver play? Vancouver beat LA, so there was another team that was competing for a playoff spot. They lost to us a couple episodes back. Chicago, who did they play? They played Detroit. They tied, so they only got 1 point up. And LA played Vancouver. So, yeah, so Vancouver won their game against LA. That was the big one for them, which really stifled the rest of their season. Phoenix, losing to St. Louis, killed their season off, unfortunately for them. They did make a good push, but yeah, that's how it shaped up. In the East, it looks like Philadelphia, won an extra game. Toronto was finished up. I think. Yeah, they beat Ottawa. Wow, that's wild. They beat Ottawa in their final game of the season. Philly probably won just a few extra games down the stretch. They shut out Florida to end the season there. So that's interesting. They're a very good home team as well. And lastly, let's take a look at some stats. Yager played 83 games, and I sat him for 2 down the stretch, too. He could have played 85. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, Guerin obviously was coming over from Dallas, in the trade. A lot of these stats are all messed up, really, because, 1, we weren't scoring a whole lot to begin the season, and 2, a lot of guys are injured. So Guerin, 60 goals on the year. I don't know if he won the Rocket Richard Trophy because he kind of went cold and then down the stretch, and then we obviously scratched him for the final 2 games. But let's go around the league and just see what was what. So taking a look here, 101 points for Fedorov. So far, that's like the highest one. Anaheim had a pretty decent season. Kovalchuk, 112 points. So Savard's injury was obviously a big factor in this. He only played 58 games, and obviously whoever came up, which was probably Patrick Stefan, or I think actually when we played Atlanta, they had I think they had Kovalchuk playing center, and then Petrovicki came up. So obviously that was probably the dagger into their season there. Not a very good goaltending team either. But yeah, Healy and Kovalchuk really did carry the load, and as soon as Savard went down, it was donezo for them. Glenn Murray, 59 goals. So far, still the leading scorer is Guerin. 98 points. A pretty good season from him, but Boston's not in the playoffs at this time. Buffalo, Shatan, 43. Again, I feel like this is a combination of a really spread out offense and probably some solid goaltending as well from Biron. Calgary, again, has 96 points. Again, he's probably just dragging his team along with Kiprasov here to the playoffs. Carolina does not make the playoffs. Peter Bondra, their leading scorer. Chicago just misses playoffs. Jeff O'Neill here. They had a pretty good season. They really did come back and make it pretty competitive. We, of course, had Bill Guerin leading our team in points, 30 above the next closest. 60 goals is so far. Oh, look at Rick Nash. There it is. 62 for Rick Nash was a big. Columbus missing the playoffs, of course, but 62 goals for Rick Nash is pretty impressive. Dallas, of course, they traded a lot of guys away. They're in a rebuild. That's pretty much it. Detroit, Shanahan led them. A lot of spread out scoring here for sure. Brett Hull, unreal. 44 goals in 68 games is pretty awesome from him. Shanahan, their leading point getter. Datsuk here as well. Despite being 26, he's pretty much a rookie. Edmonton was terrible. Florida was terrible. LA was pretty good. They didn't make the playoffs, unfortunately, for them. Vancouver and San Jose getting those final 2 spots, but Ziggy Palffy was Palffy and Deadmarsh really, and I guess Jason Allison too, were really just, pushing them forward. And obviously this will be the last time we really address it, but Sedin getting traded from Vancouver to LA is just still whack to me. Gaborik, 52 goals, Smith's 86 points. Like, those 2 guys, unreal for their team this season, but really it was probably Dwayne Rolson's goaltending that has brought Minnesota so far up. Kovalev, 97 points in Montreal. Again, I think Abisher was pretty good as well. We'll take a look at the goalies here in a bit. Nashville, bad. Just bad. Devils, 55 goals for Patrick Eliash. The dead puck era kind of looking like it's over in New Jersey. But again, that's a very formidable team. They're a Stanley Cup champion team. They're looking for 4 cups in 12 years at this point, so they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs for sure. Islanders, I don't think they're very good. I don't think they have a shot in hell against Tampa Bay, but I'm waiting for the future where I look like an idiot in the series where that comes back to haunt me. But yeah, Yashin, their leading scorer, Kavasha, Hunter, pretty spread out offense. Rangers, bad. We made the trades with them. They missed playoffs. Messier, 44 years old, probably about to hang it up. Ottawa, a lot of spread out scoring for these guys as well. Probably some good goaltending from Dominik Hasek. But Alfredson, Hossa, they make the in-season acquisition for Justin Williams, Havlat, Spezza. Steve Ruchin plays 86 games of this season. That's kind of crazy. But really, what you can notice by looking at the top of their the top 6 scorers on their team is healthy. They stayed healthy all year. Probably one of the biggest reasons they were so good. The Flyers, they snuck into that 7th spot for the first round matchup against the Devils. Again, another team that's very good offensively, but probably their goaltending is what will do them in a little bit. I think they're not Czech Manic at this point. I think it's Robert Esch is their goaltender. Phoenix, unfortunate because Nagy, Doan, and Comrie really led the way for this team. Doan, 106 points. They just can't get themselves to the playoffs. Unfortunately, maybe if Nagy can stay healthy and not miss 20 games, they're in there. Pittsburgh, terrible at this time. We almost made a trade for Lemieux earlier in the season. I think that's when we got Lindros, actually. We were trying to find a trade for Lemieux, but obviously it didn't quite feel right given he has ownership in the Penguins at this time. So didn't really feel right. And yeah, we went Lindros instead. For the Sharks, Marlowe, Sturm, Chichu really leading the way for them. Again, I think it's their goaltending that's really pushed them into the playoffs, but this is the team I think is pretty weak heading into the first round. I mean, we were able to beat them with pretty much nobody in our lineup. I think we have a very good opportunity to deal with them pretty easily in the first round. St. Louis, obviously too big, or really the biggest thing that happened this season was getting themselves a goaltender and an upgrade on Patrick Lalime. They traded Keith Tkachuk to the Tampa Bay Lightning in exchange for Nikolai Habibulin. That's a big one there. Dimitra leading their team in points. Obviously, Tkachuk's very good, but getting a solid goaltender as well to complement Lalime in Habibulin was a big difference for them. And taking a look, of course, at Keith Tkachuk, 99 points. He just gets added into what is an absolutely stellar offensive group. You know, LeCavalier missed a lot of time this season, but this is a team, again, they're reigning Stanley Cup champions at this point. They can definitely do this. Toronto getting into the playoffs, facing off against Montreal in the first round. 99 points for Sunday. Nolan Roberts, again, a stacked offensive group, a good defensive group too. Again, this is, I wouldn't be shocked. They got Belfour in net. Or no, it's Raycroft, I think, at this time. I wouldn't be shocked if they managed to pull an upset on Montreal. Again, like, I know it's crazy, but like the Leafs are a solid team. They're a really solid team. It's a shock that they only made it 8th. But, yeah, like, I mean, look at Owen Nolan. Only 89 points in 70 games. Gary Roberts, 79 and 62. Man, this is a team. If they're healthy, man, they're good to go. Vancouver sliding in. I think obviously Kluche actually backstopped them pretty well down the stretch here. Looks like they've had a lot of injury issues. Bertuzzi missing half the season. Linden's missed a handful of games. Naslund's missed a lot of games. Looks like they added Alexei Zhamnov at some point during this season as well. I would think Kluche's probably been the difference maker for their team this season, which is a shock because Kluche is usually never the difference maker. Yeah. And Washington, finally, terrible team, had the first overall pick. If this was redone, they would have Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin on the same team. It would be disgusting, but nevertheless. So taking a look around the league at the goaltenders now, Jaguar, obviously pretty solid, played 74 games. Jesus, he's going to be tired. Nurminen, Herme, not very good goaltenders. Actually, Raycroft's in Boston, so who is the... Is it still Belfour? I feel like it must be Belfour in Toronto then. So Boston, not very good. Biron, 2.51 goals against is pretty good. 8.84 is pretty good at this point because, you know, nobody plays really well. Kiprusoff, obviously a 2.26 goals against. An 8.95 save percentage is very good considering. Kevin Weeks actually had a decent year in Carolina, but probably just not enough offense to get them there. Leighton and Anderson, obviously whoever, I think it was Tebow was their goaltender throughout most of the season. And obviously it's shocking that Michael Leighton even got 17 wins on this season. Theodore and Joseph here in Colorado, obviously pretty good. Just both guys really came in and were excellent. 902, 905, I think those were the top 2 save percentages amongst, you know, starting goaltenders or goaltenders that played. Theodore to have less than 100 goals against, 15 shutouts. He was unreal all season for us, pretty much. Denis, obviously not having a good year. Turco had a terrible year. Legacy, backstopping the Red Wings pretty well. Again, I think goaltending is really going to be, if there's a downfall for the Detroit Red Wings, it's probably going to be goaltending. Tebow traded to Edmonton, did not help their cause. He was terrible. Luongo in Florida probably couldn't do it all himself. Czechmanek in LA couldn't get them there. He wasn't very good. Rolison, 2.27 goals against, an 8.95 save percentage. Won 46 games. That's huge. David Abisher, 2.26 goals against, an 8.87 save percentage. He was excellent for Montreal. Vilcoon just couldn't do it all himself, pretty much. Brodeur, 2.51. .883, pretty good. DiPietro pretty much got them there. Lundqvist was okay. Like, I mean, for a rookie goaltender in New York, he was fine. Hasek, a 2.23 goals against, an 8.96 save percentage, 5 shutouts. He was excellent. 41 wins on the season for the Senators. Philadelphia, Ash, not very good. That's probably not going to be too great of a time for the Flyers in the first round. Phoenix, Boucher, solid, but just not enough. Fleury, rookie, got lit up. He's in Pittsburgh. Nabokov, 2.49 goals against, 28 wins. Again, the Sharks really didn't have a great year from any stretch. Habibulin, a 2.8 goals against, an 8.74. Not great numbers for St. Louis, but they really did turn it on down the stretch. But I think they're probably the first half of the season was what really got them there. Tampa Bay, John Graham, 2.62 and 8.79. He's been like pretty much average. Belfour in Toronto, 32 wins. Not bad, just pretty much league average. Kluche, 2.72, very much league average as well. And Kolzig did not have a good year, but he's pretty much league average. Just probably just didn't get any scoring from his team. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We are officially finished the regular season. It's fantastic. We're into the playoffs. San Jose, a first-round matchup for our squad. I think this is a team we can handle pretty easily. That's what we want, for sure. And, yeah, bring on the playoffs. So as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next episode. Tuesdays, Thursdays will be our regular upload times. We're not going to change the schedule. So look out for game number 1 coming up next. And then, yeah, we're just going to do game 1, game 2, game 3, 4, as many games as we need. And we're going to hope for the best. We're going to try to win the Stanley Cup here. That's what it's all about. So, yeah. Can't thank you guys enough if you've been on the journey for all 82. That's insane. It's crazy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel here. As always, like the video, subscribe down below. Can't wait to kick off the playoffs. I'll catch you guys on the next one.